Bobby Scott,
right,
Congressman Smith on the Republican side, and we finally got that 100-to-1 reduced to 18-to-1. So we are making progress and made more progress with the recent bill passed earlier this year.
To the people who are running for president right now, who are using the 94 bill as dividing line between how things used to be and how they need to be now, do you have a word of caution for them, not just on using it against Biden, but in terms of how they understand what was done in 94?
Well, I would wish some people would do a little more research and see exactly how we got to where we are. The fact of the matter is, we on the Democratic side did a yeoman's job in putting in the kind of prevention programs, the preventive funding in the bill, and we got to understand, on the punitive side, the Republicans wanted that, and we found a compromise everybody could live with. All of a sudden, our Republican friends took out the prevention stuff, doubled down on the punitive stuff, and because they were in the majority, they were able to prevail. And so I would caution my friends to getting ready for the next election to be very careful. Let's not be too unkind to people who find common ground on things. And remember, no matter who's in the majority today, they may not be there tomorrow.
So how does that apply to what we're dealing with right now with the relief bill? To hear it from Chip Roy, look, we didn't get a chance to debate this. There's a lot of stuff in it that we don't like. Just because it came through the Senate doesn't mean that it's wholly responsible. We want proper process. And by the way, the border, which is a nightmare, is getting no attention. It was supposed to be in here, and it isn't. What's the weakness with that argument?
Well, I think that the weakness is we have been discussing this disaster bill for a long, long time. We have passed disaster relief in the House. You may recall, we passed a very comprehensive bill, sent it over to the Senate. The president said he agreed with it. All of a sudden, he got upset, did not want to approve funding for Puerto Rico, and therefore we lost that battle. I think that my Republican colleague is being a bit disingenuous when he says that we have not debated this issue.
Obviously, you recognize, Mr. Whip, that what's going on at the border is terrible, and it is being made worse by the inaction from Congress and from the White House. I understand the argument that let the disaster bill stand on its own. Fine. Why isn't there emergency-type action on something that is certainly an emergency?
Well, I think that we really need to come together. When you have divided government, you got the majority of Democrats in the House, a majority of Republicans in the Senate, and you got a president who seemed not to want to find common ground. I don't know why compromise has got to be such a bad word. Compromise is nothing but a process by which you seek common ground. Seeking common ground, to me, is an honorable thing to do in the legislative process. And for some reason, this president seemed to think it's got to be my way or the highway. And some of his friends in the Congress seem to be adhering to that. But that's not the way you legislate in a democracy.
Mr. Whip, thank you very much. Appreciate having you on Primetime. Appreciate the perspective.
Thank you so much.